Hi guys. Hi guys, how we all doing today? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. My name is Anu Adedire and I vlog from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I vlog about faith, relationships, weddings, and life matters. Today I'm continuing a series I started a couple of weeks ago, and I know that you will see this video later, so I am dropping in bits and pieces. I'm sharing you 40 weeks of God's faithfulness, and I'm sharing with you my pregnancy journey. And the reason why I'm sharing these stories with you is because I want to encourage someone out there, and I want to share my own personal experience with people, and whatever it is that you're going through at the moment and you feel like, oh, this is overwhelming, know that God always comes true. But today I'm going to be talking on the dietary part of it. So I just gave birth to my baby. She's about a month and a half, months, and for me it's been a very joyful process, but at the same time I'm grateful to have so much help from my mom, that she's been there and she's been helping. So it's been a great joy having that. But for people that don't have that, it's also still a great joy, but it's just always a little bit stressful because you're the one doing everything yourself. But today, what I was talking about is weight gain during pregnancy. Now, I will take you back to a journey that I started before even the wedding. So before I got married, I wanted to be a particular size, and before now, I was a size 10. Girl, I was a size 10. I was a size 10. Everything was always perfect. Everything was always looking good. But at some point I gained so much weight. So I gained weight, I was taking junk, I was eating past midnight. It was just a whole lot of like not eating healthy kind of lifestyle. So I told myself, I said, you know what, girl, we're gonna make sure that we lose this weight. So I had a trainer, but later the trainer relocated, so I was barely going to the gym. I was just living life how I wanted to live life, to be very sincere with you. And I won't lie here, like I will be 100% with you. So along the line, I was 109 kg when I was leaving for Nigeria for the wedding. So when I got to Nigeria, you know Niger now. For those that are from that don't understand what I'm talking about, so Nigeria is in the West African part of Africa, um, and it is a very agile place. You have to be on your feet, you have to be on your toes, you have to be very sharp. And I was in Lagos, so I was doing planning. I was going from mainland to island, island to mainland. So that was on my route almost every other day. So by the time the wedding got in and we had the ceremony, guys, I dropped from 109 kg to 105 kg. So I had to start taking in all the clothes that I brought to Nigeria, my wedding gown. I had to use the belt to tie it really tight so that it would be like in shape. My traditional wear, like a whole lot of clothes like that. So when I left Nigeria, I was 105 kg, and I'm like, girl, we're going for the 100 kg hit. And when we're done, we're going back to 75 kg. It was my initial old weight, guys. It's not easy. So, to be very sincere with you, and I really wanted to do that. So 105 kg, I go back to Canada and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do a fruit diet. So I and my husband sat down and we're doing the honeymoon. We're like, okay, no more junks, no more this, no more that. And we kind of put our ass for that. The only time we'll take junks, or we're gonna go through a drive-through, or we'll go out. So we planned we're gonna like eating out once a week. So that's we kind of decongest all the wanting to cook every day of the week, right? So it was just a very fun thing to do. We always enjoyed it, and probably things we said we're gonna do was, um, excuse me, and we said that once it is like we want to go through a drive-through, except both of us agree and say, okay, we want to go through this drive-through. If not, we're not. So little by little, I started doing my fruit fast, doing eating in bits and pieces. I would not eat in the morning. All that was happening. I think I shared this story a little bit when I was talking about my finding out and how I thought I had ulcer, and at the end of the day, I found I was pregnant, and yada yada yada. So by the time I found I was pregnant, I was 101 kg. Now at this point, people tell you have to add a lot of weight, you have to this, you're eating for two, you have to eat for two. And I'm like, yo, guys, like, let's talk about this thing. Ain't nobody in this arena adding excess weight, because for me, I did not want, like, when people say, oh, when I got pregnant, I added so much weight, and when I gave birth, I had to lose a lot of weight, I was going through depression. I To be very sincere with you, I didn't want that to be my tale. So I told myself that, girl, we're gonna be watching what we're eating. Once we get our gynecologist, we're gonna talk about weight, we're gonna talk about all that. So I was really, really into it. And I think I shared a little bit about the story of my first gynecologist. So going to the new gynecologist, I asked him, oh my god, I asked him questions, and he was super amazing to always answer my questions. He was always ready to talk, and it was always like, oh yes, this, oh that. And I probably would have googled it, to be very sincere, which I always do most times. But most time when I get to him, I'll always ask those questions, and I'm like, oh, what do you feel about it? So what do you feel about that? So when it came to my weight, I told him already that this is what I was doing before, but this is what will happen if, like, I don't want to be that kind of lady that wants to add too much of weight. But what's the ideal size? So he told me that once your BMI is past 30, and I saw the chart in his office. The ideal weight gain is between 5 to 9 kg. So that was my goal. I told myself that since I knew I was pregnant, and to be very sincere, like I said, please don't take pills if you're like, whatever it is you're doing, whether you're expecting or not expecting, whatever it is, to be very sincere, always seek medical assistance. Don't self-medicate. I have been screaming this on this podcast, on this channel. Please don't self-medicate. Please guys, I beseech you in the name of God, don't self-medicate. So as I was saying, it was easy for me. So I asked those questions and I told myself, okay, so between 5 and 9 kg. So I kind of did the maths in my head, and I started telling myself, this is what you eat, this is how you eat, no junks, since I'd already said regimen of no junks. So I started doing all that. But at some point, guys, I think I overdid myself and I started losing weight. So I went from 101 kg to 103 kg, and I was feeling large, and I went back to stressing out myself, doing stuff. And funny enough, I lost weight. So when I lost weight, I went to see my general like my family doctor, and he was concerned about my weight. So he said, come in 2 weeks and come do tests, because I don't know why you're losing weight. You have to add weight, you have to this, you have to that. So it was really on my neck. So by the time I came back, I think it was like 2 weeks after, I was 104 kg. So I was really, really going well. So for me, I didn't have any weird cravings, and I think I mentioned in one of my the episodes, I didn't have what do you call it? I didn't have such weird cravings, or I was eating anyhow. I think the only time I think I had a weird craving was when I wanted like Nando's. And I'm thinking about generally through my pregnancy. I think I wanted Nando's, and then it was during the COVID, so we had to drive all the way to the south because I didn't want to wait for a delivery person to come. What else? I think I wanted Cactus Club, and this is a restaurant in Edmonton. I wanted a particular dish from Cactus Club, and when I got it, I just ate it a bit, and I'm like, oh, what is this? Then, guys, I couldn't eat my food. And I think I've talked about this a little bit. I couldn't eat my food, so my pastor's wife was always my joints. My mom's place was always my joints, but my pastor's wife was always more of my joints, and I'm so grateful to her. She's the bomb.com, like, oh my god. So after I did that, I started adding weight little by little, but later my gynecologist was like, you need to add a bit more weight, and it was concerning. I was really, really concerned about it, because it was like, I still feel like you have to add more weight, just a little bit more weight. So my husband started saying that I was getting stressed about it, so he told me, don't stress yourself, just eat as much as you can, make sure you stay active and all that. But I knew that I didn't want to be walking up and down because of the whole COVID situation, right? So what I did was, I was very active in church. I was I was just always walking. I was always doing so many things. So it always made me go up and down. And a lot of people were looking at me like, what's wrong with this girl? Like, how are you doing so many things? How are you like? And at the same time, I was preparing the house. I was going to the stores. Like, it was just a lot. And then my husband was working. I was really busy. So, and the days where he's off, we will do things together, but it was just a whole lot, right? So at the end of the day, I would say staying active is very important, but also, please, you don't have to add all the weight. When people tell you, oh, you're eating for two, it's a myth. I understand you're eating for two, but understand where your body mass index size is when you're pregnant, so that you know the amount of weight you want to add. Because to be very sincere with you, it's I know losing weight on itself without pregnancy is a lot. Not talk of when you're pregnant, you have a baby, all that, and breastfeeding always helps you to even lose weight. So, and it really really helped me. I'm telling you, people. So I added more weight. So I told myself that, you know what, I know what makes me add weight, and what makes me add weight is like burger, fries, da 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 da. Even though they scared me, and they're like, oh, don't eat things like that. And I read a lot of books, and guys, but I told myself that, you know what, this is just once in a while. This is just for a particular short period of time. So I was just going back into everything that made me add weight, and I ate a little bit more. And by the time I got to the hospital to give birth, I was 108.6 kg. By the time I gave birth, and by the time she came out, I was 102, 101, 102 ish kg. So kinda I added the exact weight of my baby, because she was 6 pounds and 11 ounces or something. Yeah. So for me, I kind of added the exact weight. I don't know how it happened, but I noticed that I added the exact weight. Now at that point, before I gave birth, I was taking long walks. I was not running, not jogging, just taking long walks, 35 minutes walks. And it was really refreshing. Sometimes I'll go to the mall, I'll just go window shopping, I'll walk around the West Edmonton Mall. And like I said, there was no crazy food craving that will make me like want to like say, oh, I need mama in the middle of the night or whatnot. I'm a very picky eater, so it's not even like a biggie for me. So what I would say is, talk to your gynecologist, don't self-medicate. Make sure that you're like putting things in place. Don't overeat. Yes, you're eating for two, but you have to eat healthy also, right? So please, and some people have tended to like be bigger when they're pregnant, and it's okay. Enjoy the process when you're doing that. Enjoy that moment. It's just a phase. To be very sincere, it's just a phase. For me, I was very lucky that even we breastfeeding, I lost another 4 kg or 3 4 kg between when I gave birth to her and right now. And then the doctor wanted me to eat a little bit more, and I was just being conscious about my weight, but he was more concerned about the fact that if a baby is eating this much out of you for a very long time, then you have to make sure that you're eating right, you're eating healthy, and it is important. So yeah, I didn't I apart from supplements, taking my prenatal vitamins, which is very important. I'm not a drugs person, and please, if they give you any drug to use, please make sure that you ask before you stop using them, even after birth, because it's very important to like note whether, because I stopped using a particular drug they wanted me to continue using, and they were like, oh, you have to go back on it. So it's not a big deal to ask questions or to search or to do all those things, but please don't be blindsided by, oh, this person is looking this or this person is looking very big when they're pregnant, I have to look very big. Like I said, eating healthy for two is more important than just eating for two. So for me, I added about 7 kg, and by the time I gave birth and everything, I was back to 102 kg. So it wasn't that bad from where I was before, and where I am right now is not that bad. I can wear all my old outfits. Even I was trying out my my wedding outfits and they're still my size. So I'm grateful to God for that process, that I didn't add so much weight, and I don't and I didn't go shopping. I think that's another thing I'm going to talk about, is going shopping for pregnancy. I think that it's very important to get outfits that you can reuse, you can rewear for any occasion, and it doesn't have to be something that is really like pregnancy whatnot. I bought some clothes that were maternity, but they were very lovely dresses that I can wear right now. So I think it's important for us to like note that. Yeah, so that's for today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast, and I hope you enjoyed this on the channel. And please, if you have any questions, please send them my way. Put in the comment section, and you can send me a DM at Anuadedere on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to like this podcast, and I hope you have a blessed week. Welcome to the month of October. I celebrate you. Bye.